Evolutionary change and even evolutionary pressure is difficult to observe over the timescale of human experience. Animals and plants adapt to their changing environment. However, most of their environments change only very slowly, generally far too slow for us actually to observe. Domesticated animals from dogs, sheep, cattle, of course, have changed very rapidly over the last few centuries, but this is due to direct human interference on their breeding. These animals are not that well adapted to surviving in the wild. And without human influence, these animals, if they were placed in their natural setting, wouldn't survive long compared to their wild cousins. There is, however, one particular creature, the peppered moth, which can be found all over the northern hemisphere, and when out flying about, they like to rest on the branches of trunks of trees, especially the silver birch tree. It's this habit of resting on trees which makes it very interesting to scientists. Peppered moth comes in two forms. Until a few hundred years ago, only one form was actually known to exist. A white moth with black spots, which meant it was almost perfectly camouflaged against the trees. However, the other form started to be observed about 200 years ago in the UK. The new variety came in the form of an almost completely black moth, and very rapidly it outnumbered the other varieties, especially in cities. This change in numbers coincided with the peak of the Industrial Revolution, where factories were belching out smoke into the environment and coating the bark of trees in the process and turning them black. This meant that trees now made the perfect camouflage environment for the black peppered moth, which in turn made the white peppered moth most conspicuous. This all continued in the UK until they introduced the Clean Air Acts, and then air pollution dramatically dropped, and as a consequence so did the soot on the trees. At the same time, proportions of the peppered moths again reversed, with the white peppered moth now being the more numerous kind than the black peppered moth. This change in types due to environment is clearly demonstrated as an example of evolution in action, and probably more importantly that such a change is also reversible given the correct circumstances. So that's how the peppered moth is an example of evolution in action.